I don't think our pre-show music's playing.
Whoa, welcome in. Do what?
I said I don't think our pre-show music played. I think it was just us on the pre-show, but we're good.
Where's this playing? Hold on. Rough start. Real rough start.
You know what? It's the end of the week, man. We're getting there.
You said it was just us breathing?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Check, check.
I can hear you.
Okay, here we go. There's some music.
Now I hear it. Now we're ready.
Oh man. We both had computer problems apparently.
Yeah, my computer did not want to work this morning.
Anyways, we're live.
Early afternoon.
It's the Rob Breaux Show with Carson Robinson. A Power Ranking Thursday, like it ought to be. Power Ranking Thursday. We'll get into it like it always was. We'll power rank some things. We'll talk about it. We'll also do some the basketball tournament talk. We were both there last night. An incredible run, full of nostalgia. I got a question last night. Who do you think would have won? The team on the floor for Texas Tech or the team just what was it? North south of the baseline.
Yeah.
So, not the team, but like Jarrett Culver, Zaire Smith, Lewandowski, Temple, Jay Crockett, all the guys there.
Yeah, Adonis Arms was there.
Adonis Arms, Zaire Smith. So all of those guys are the guys on the floor.
Tough team.
You had two full alumni teams. Norrance was there.
Oh.
You had two full alumni teams.
Yeah, Daryl Dora and Daryl Dora's playing shape. If we're going that guy or we're going the guy that's like you and I and is in his well into his 30s and doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. Well, you can go there now.
I think he can still go though. I'm not gonna lie. He could probably still go.
He could coach.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I like the team that was on the floor last night. Tell you what, for being our age, John Robertson sure looked good. So did Jordan Tolbert. But yeah, that team that you could make two alumni teams to be pretty stacked. I mean, and if Keenan Evans were to show up on Friday, add him into the mix, have fun. It'd be fun to watch, that's for sure. Just call them Air Raiders 1 and Air Raiders 1.1.
Yeah.
Because there's not really an Air Raiders 2.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it too.
No.
All right, so I looked up the years from each player.
Right.
You ready? John, because we were kind of confused.
Yeah, we were.
The errors blended together there.
So, you get old enough, Rob, everything starts blending.
It goes together. So, John Robertson, 07 to 11. Todrick Gocher, 11 to 16. Tolbert, 11 to 14. That's Gillespie, Walker, and Smith.
Yep. Yeah, three coaches.
Dejon Krajic, Walker, and Smith, 12 to 14. Zach Smith, 14 to 18. Now you're getting into Beard era.
Yep.
Parker Hicks, 17 to 19. Then he went and played at LCU.
Two-time player of the year.
Moretti, Edwards, Mooney, Owens, Warren. I think everybody remembers those. And then the players from the Final Four team, Hicks, Moretti, Edwards, Mooney, and Owens. So there you go. Some people were confused, but John Robertson, 07 to 12.
Yeah, he's our age. Same age as you and I. I don't know that I could be doing what he was doing last night.
Still rocking. And still playing just like he played back.
Yeah, and he might be a little bit quicker. I don't know. He looks really good. Not going to lie.
All right. What were some takeaways from the game last night? Texas Tech winning by 20. The Elam ending ended on free throws. We'll talk about the Elam ending if you want to. I wish it had to end on a shot.
Yeah.
I wish free throws just didn't count in the Elam ending.
It was about to end on a dunk, but then one of their guys who had been dunked on and rejected like 8 times last night was a little upset, so he made it to where it had to end on free throws. But yeah, I thought that
to Tariq Owens, he made them both.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. He made some big free throws down the stretch in the Final Four run as well.
Yeah,
And Tariq shot it well from the outside too, which is a part to his game that he has added the last couple of years, especially playing overseas now in the European way of playing basketball. That is a big, that's why some of these European guys come over. You look at Victor Wembanyama, who's just come over from France. He's been playing professionally since he was 15 in France. Number one overall pick in the draft. Dude, what is he, Rob? 7'1", 7'2"?
at least.
And the dude can shoot. He shot it like 38% from three last year as a professional. So, playing in Europe, the three ball is a big key to winning games over there. And I think that's helped Tariq's game, to be honest with you. Tariq looked more of a sure shooter than he was even whenever he was here. He could step out and hit a three every now and then, but he wasn't as confident in the shot as I felt like he was last night. That was good to see. It was great to see.
Who would you peg as the player of the game last night? Owens had 13 points, 9 boards, 4 blocks. Matt Mooney, 11 points, 8 assists, 3 steals. Kyler Edwards, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 3 threes. That was mostly in the first half.
Yeah.
And then Robertson, 15 points, 5 assists, 4 threes.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Tariq just because of that rebound number. He almost has a double-double. And, they're not playing as many minutes as they're used to probably just because this team is just stacked and loaded. You can play anybody anywhere. I mean, Parker Hicks was a guy that was a walk-on and played in the final minutes of games that you were blowing teams out in whenever he was at Tech, but then he went to LCU and became an absolute stud and a freak on the basketball floor. Added about 15, 20 pounds as well. And that's not bad pounds either. Those are good pounds for Parker Hicks. Was a 2-time player of the year in the Lone Star Conference, which is one of the best basketball conferences in the country in Division II. So it's not like Parker Hicks is the guy that he was his freshman year at Texas Tech anymore. Dude can play. And, but yeah, I think Tariq with his rebound totals, the scoring, the best play of the game was Matt Mooney to Tariq Owens with the alley-oop. It wasn't even an alley-oop. It was just a line drive, pass it, let Tariq just go up and grab it, hammer it down. It was sweet. Just like old times.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like old times. And I was also impressed with Moretti, who flew in the night before.
Yeah, jet lag is all get out.
After practice, hadn't practiced with any of these guys. I'm sure they had a run through this morning or yesterday morning, but he looked like he'd been playing with them all week.
Yeah, the pass from Moretti to Davion Warren from the wing and the no-look kind of, under the arm pass from Moretti to Davion Warren was absolutely insane last night. It's one of those where it looks like, it's a pass that you make when you've been playing with dudes for a long time because you know where your guy's at on the floor. Those guys never have played together, ever. They probably – like you said, they probably ran it once or twice yesterday morning beforehand and then got a break in between before they showed up. But, they didn't play together on the floor at Texas Tech when they were here. They could have. Davide, if he would have stayed one more year, Davion would have been there. But, it's fun to see when just basketball players are basketball players and good basketball players. Plus, Davide looks like he's been getting in the sun pretty well on the Italian beaches. Dude, my guy was straight up Italian stallioned out yesterday.
You flew over on a Corvette.
Yeah, he was getting the rays in up in the skies on the way here. Yeah, no.
Man, crispy.
Yeah. And that was everybody's first reaction in the stands. Everybody we were sitting around at least was man, Davide must be getting on that beach in Italy. Dude.
He had the biggest pop. He came off the bench and he had the biggest pop for sure.
Yeah.
Jacob says, I spent the first 20 minutes just smiling. The nostalgia was real. Absolutely. And
I was right back in Minnesota.
If the Adams thing hadn't gone so south, I'm sure this would have been a great experience too.
Yeah.
But I think it's really fun to see a successful team after the team you just had. And none of those players joined in, right?
Right.
You have players from the Sweet 16 team, Davion Warren.
Yeah.
But all the other players are from before that. So
yeah, Davion Warren. I mean, Adonis Arms and all those guys were in the building, but Davion Warren, the only player off of a Mark Adams coach team,
right?
That was stepped up and played. But yeah, and it's like some of the people were commenting, if Kyler Edwards would have stayed on that Sweet 16 team, you're probably more of an Elite 8 team, if not maybe another Final Four team. But I think the best thing for Kyler Edwards was going to play for Kelvin Sampson, because that guy, he was good when he was here at Texas Tech, but he was more of a role player. That guy could be a number one guy for a team, in the league that he plays in overseas. And that's because he went to Houston. It was the best thing for Kyler Edwards to do. And even though people got upset about it, like you look at him yesterday, Rob, you and I talked about it, just sitting there like the dude looks like a different player.
Yeah.
He just looks more sure of himself. He's stronger. He's bigger. He looks like the game comes easily to him now. And that was different than of course, he was a freshman when he was at Texas Tech, but still, it was
3 years.
he was. That's what I mean. He was a freshman, sophomore, and then moved his way to Houston. But yeah, I think the best thing that he did was go play for Kelvin Sampson and that Houston squad, who's really, really good.
Yeah, and it's more of an offensive system. The same thing
Yeah.
we always talk about with Terrence Shannon.
Yep.
He left to go be in an offensive system, and he's
No doubt.
there again this year. He's coming back, so yeah, I do think that was beneficial for Kyler Edwards, and I think again with the downfall of Mark Adams, everyone's like, yeah,
made the right decision.
We get it. We wouldn't have wanted to play for him either. So I think we'll look back on Kyler Edwards a lot better than people looked back on him in the last couple of years, because
I agree.
And I was never mad at Kyler Edwards. I knew of culture issues and trouble with the end of the Beard era, and he was upset and he left, and fine.
Yeah, I agree. I was not upset when he left.
He didn't stay in the Big 12.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the same thing as Kevin McCullough. That's for sure.
Well, yeah. Even though I'm not as mad at him as everyone.
I'm not that upset at him either. I mean, go to Kansas, win some games, but
people are still upset.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of people that are still upset. Go to the Kansas game next year; they'll still be upset.
Yeah, and he'll still be here too.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the things we thought on both of those guys that we just talked about were that they were one and dones, and now that they are two and dones elsewhere, it does sting a little more. But
yeah, well, Terrence stings a little bit more than Kevin McCullough to me, just because he's a scorer. Yeah. Terrence can score. When you need a bucket, Terrence can go get it. But
you needed some buckets this year.
You needed some buckets this
last. Of course, you needed some rebounds and some assists too. And
that's a fact. And a little bit of leadership would have gone a long way too.
A little bit of leadership.
A little bit of leadership would have gone a long way.
He definitely would have been the floor.
And that's the other thing too, is it was fun to see that crowd, the electric energy into the USA again. And I'm not saying there wasn't an electric energy in the USA at times last year, because there was. But it just, like Jacob John said, it's one of those deals where the nostalgia came back and everybody felt like they were back in 2019 or what, in those years where it was just like, man, these teams are really good. We're going to a Final Four. Let's go to Minnesota. It felt like that again. And seeing Matt Mooney and Tariq Owens and even guys like Todrick Gocher, who, like Norrance, stuck it out between coaching changes and all those things. And Todrick really kind of put this program. He was one of those guys who built the foundation for where the program is now with Tubby Smith. Everybody always forgets about Tubby in my mind. Everybody goes straight to Chris Beard and the fact that, this program's only good because of Beard. Don't get me wrong. Chris Beard did a phenomenal job here at Texas Tech. The way he left sucks. Yeah, I get it. Okay, cool. We can talk about that another day. But what Chris Beard did here was great. Tubby Smith laid the groundwork for Chris Beard to come in and have success early like he did. And, that can't be forgotten what Todrick and those guys did on that team, because, in the day and age of coaching changes and everybody leaves and all those things, Norrance and Todrick, two of the guys that you can go back to and look at. And that's why I think Norrance is so invested. Todrick's very invested in what this team does every single year. I mean, you look on social media, he's always following. He's always watching, whether he's in Spain playing, in Portugal, wherever he is. He's always been on it. And John Robertson's kind of the same deal too. He played a long time ago, played for, some not very good teams, him and Jordan Tolbert, but it's one of those deals where, you're looking at dudes who built this program to where it is now, and it's really cool to see. It's kind of like, whenever I get to see the guys from the 96 teams, the Jason Sassers, the Corey Carrs, Will Flemings, all of those Stan Bonowitz days, all those guys come into town back, and that's nostalgic for me. Now kids that grew up with these teams are going to feel that way whenever those guys come back, and 20 years later, whenever you're our age, and get to look back on things, because things do become more nostalgic the older you get. And it did bring back seeing Matt Mooney throw a lob up to Tariq was one of those deals where I felt like I was right back in US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota, watching Texas Tech play in the Final Four. That was the coolest moment of my life still to this day, sports wise. And that defeats anything I ever did myself in sports, other than my daughter getting a walk-off base hit to win a playoff game last year. That was number one on my list, but yeah, pretty close number two in Minnesota.
Jacob on the starting line chat line. I had forgotten what it was like to have players that were good shot blockers. Owen and Smith were four blocks and 3 blocks. That was nuts. Yeah. Oh, poor 44. He had 4 shots in a row that were blocked either Smith or Owens.
I think all of those blocks were on the same guy too. Yeah, all 7 of them
were. 4 of them were at least.
But yeah, and that's why he hammered Tariq at the end.
Yeah, he was pretty upset.
Yeah, and then he realized, oh no, I made a mistake.
Yeah,
right after he did it,
Yeah, he said, "My bad."
Immediately apologized for being a dummy. Should have just let you flush it.
And
but
Tariq was like, "Well, you're down 20, so I understand."
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to have 2 of the best shot blockers we've seen in a Texas Tech uniform come back. You the top 3 shot blockers are those 2 and Tony Batiste. And Tariq beat Tony's records, both the single game and the in-season blocks records. And, Zach Smith, me and you were sitting there going, does Zach Smith look like he can jump a little bit higher now than what he used to? Even when he played here, and he was really bouncy then.
Explosive.
Like, the dude could jump out of a gym, man. And that's an old saying, and everybody says it, but he could literally, I feel like he could jump. If there was a 15-foot rim, he could probably hammer it down on a 15-foot rim. I thought he brought the rim
at the top
off
of the backboard.
Yeah, I thought he brought the rim off the goal in that first dunk of the game.
Yeah,
that was insane.
The Shaq dunk at the other end.
Yeah, that was rim rocking, show stopping stuff right there.
And I thought Tariq was going to have one at the very end to end the game, but we just said he got hammered.
Yep.
Hey, if you are commenting today, you're commenting on the starting line chat line. Have you been struggling with depression, anxiety, mood disorder, or addiction? Maybe you've been wanting to attend marriage counseling, or you've been through a divorce recently. Maybe you just need someone to talk to who can help you tackle the day-to-day challenges of life. But getting out of the office or away from home is difficult. It shouldn't be why you don't seek the help you need. Starting Line Counseling and Consulting is a therapy practice with 100% telebased health, so it's easy to meet with a licensed professional anytime, anywhere. Chase Wade, owner and founder of Starting Line Counseling and Consulting, is a two-time Texas Tech graduate and a licensed professional counselor with over 10 years of experience as a clinician. He also ran cross country at Texas Tech, so he knows a little bit about the Red Raiders as well. Chase believes in establishing an authentic relationship with his clients and helping them set realistic objectives to reach their goals. Whether you're new to therapy or continuing with a new therapist, don't waste any more time. Call 325-766-7284 or go to startinglinecounseling.com and schedule a free 15-minute consultation with Chase today. All right. I want a power ranking from you, Carson. If you could add one player back onto this current roster from last night, give me a power ranking of the top 4 or 5 that you would want to add to this team, because I've got thoughts.
All right, let's see. I had this in mind, and now I'm feeling like I want to change it.
I've got a very obvious number 1.
And are we going off of like how good they would be right now, or are we?
Yeah, how they would fit on this team,
right?
The needs you have, everything.
All right, number 1 would be Adonis Arms.
Well, he's
love that dude.
No, we're talking from the Air Raiders.
Oh, from the Air Raiders
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
on the Texas Tech basketball team right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
From
Matt
from
Mooney.
the Air Raid okay. Oh, Matt
Matt
Moon,
Mooney's number one. Yeah,
another guard.
he's a floor general. He leads the team everywhere you need him to go. And then Tariq Owens,
Tariq would be
because
my number one.
yeah, I mean those two are kind of a package deal at number one and number two for me.
Yeah.
Like if Tariq comes, Matt's got to come with him. It's funny because they never played together until they got to Lubbock, but it looked like they played together their whole life. Still does.
It still does, yeah.
I mean, just the chemistry those two dudes have. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, I don't know that you see that a whole lot in college basketball. It's two dudes who just fit so well together. Their two games match up so well together.
Immediately, yeah.
And then number three on that list, probably gonna be Kyler Edwards. Would love to see him back. I mean, he looks better than ever, to
Yeah.
be honest with you. Shooting the ball wise, everything. Dude's bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, just looks like a great player. And he can play that four position. I mean, he can stretch in and out. And then you got the 7-footer now, so you don't really need another 7-footer. Four would just be Zach Smith because I want to see him just jump out of a building, go off, and then five would be Parker Hicks. I want him to get another shot.
Hey, he could play Big 12
He
basketball.
could. I think he could.
I thought he could when he left.
Right.
Obviously, he was just so buried on the depth chart. He needed to leave, and going down to the level absolutely worked for him.
Oh, big time.
But I think he could play Big 12 basketball.
I 100%.
I would go Tariq Owens and Zach Smith 1 and 2. I
Fair.
just feel like you need that shot blocking ability.
Think about that with this team with Pop Isaac shooting threes. It's kind of like he's Davide Moretti 2.0. I think he shoots it better than Davide did.
Yeah. And then I would go. I like your reasoning for Matt Mooney. I would go him at 3. I
Need a
don't know.
leader.
I might just say, man, Kyler. I might go Davian Warren up there.
The only reason I would leave Davion off is just the defensive side of the ball. He's not.
He's a great defender.
He was. Yeah.
He was at Tech. I don't know that he was last night.
He didn't defend well last night. That's what I'm going off of.
But
he did buy into it at Tech. You're right. He did buy into it.
That length fits on the McCaslin team.
Yeah,
I think, and
I
he
agree.
can score, and he can score. So I think that would be my 5 off this team to come back. Though you kind of just want to say the 4 bigs would be 1 through 4.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Are you mad about that? No, size never hurts
because you need it in with this system. You need it.
Yeah, and you needed a little bit last year. That would have been nice.
Well, you definitely needed it this year, and I think your roster kind of was set, and then you lost a guy, and you went and got Joe Toussaint, who's 6 foot tall, maybe 5'11".
That's being nice.
So you just kind of traded. You traded some height for another guard. I just feel like this team has a lot of guards and not quite what McCaslin wants to do defensively is going to be successful this year. But, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
And you do have a true 7-footer, but he can't play 40 minutes a game.
True. And I don't know that you have anybody else I think the other closest you got is 6'9" or 6'10". Who else is up there in the size category?
Well, you got some 6'8".
Yeah, some 6'9".
Robert.
Anybody?
6'7".
Yeah, Jennings, I was thinking was more 6'9" in there, but maybe that's just me wishful thinking. Maybe he'll grow an inch or two. But yeah, you don't have a ton of height on this team. But if you threw a guy like a Tariq or a Zach Smith, just one of those guys on there, it changes the game dramatically.
Yeah.
I mean, and those guys, Tariq more than Zach, can step out, knock down shots from deep. And that's probably what has inhibited Zach Smith's NBA career and being in the NBA is because of his lack of, being able to shoot it from long distance. I think it has a lot to do with it. Because we've seen in the NBA, I mean, to stay in the NBA, you've got to be able to step out and you got to be able to hit knock down threes. And Karl Anthony Towns didn't have that in his game to the last few years. Joel Embiid has started to sit outside and knock down threes. It's a big deal now. The league has gone from a drive and finish league to a drive and kick or just sit outside and shoot threes all night long league.
Right.
And so, and then hammer down a dunk every now and then. But yeah, I think that's probably what's inhibited him. But Tariq, he can shoot it from deep now. And last night he was pretty lethal with it, I felt like. So it was fun to see those guys. I think that, obviously when you're 26, 27, which those guys are probably around 25, 26, you're getting into the prime of where you're at athletically, career wise, all of those things. So you look better than what you did in college, most likely because you've grown you've gotten stronger, you've perfected your craft pretty much at this point. Obviously, they're going to get better because they stay in the gym and they play overseas and they're still professionals. But it's just a different kind of player that it takes to stay in the professional ranks. I don't care where it's at. I mean, you look at John Robertson. He is a Bosnian citizen now because he's been in Bosnia so long playing. He's made such a great career for himself. He's literally a dual citizen. My sister brought this up to me last night. Yeah. He's literally a dual citizen in Bosnia and the United States because he's played there for 11 years. And to play in a system like that for 11 years, you've got to perfect your talent. You've got to perfect your craft, and you've got to be really good at what you do. I don't care what professional league it's in.
A decade is a standard.
Yeah, and he's made a great living for himself as well doing it. So just because these guys aren't playing in the NBA or aren't doing this doesn't mean that they've had any less success, because these guys are big time household names in some of these plays. I mean, you look at Todrick Gocher, he made a big name for himself overseas. So Brandon Francis is doing that right now.
He was going to come back and play, but in the championship game, or at least come back and see the game.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, he's having a great career, and it doesn't have to be in the NBA. So that's what I want a lot of these fans, if you don't follow professional basketball, which I don't mean you aren't like huge NBA guys, but we're big tech guys, and you're going to follow, and how the professional sports world works as much as I do. It's, there's not a whole lot of opportunity in basketball to play professionally here in the United States. There's 2 leagues. That's it. But overseas, you do have a better opportunity. That's why Matt Mooney went. He didn't have a great opportunity here. 2-way contracts can only get you so far until you finally decide you can go make more money playing in probably a better league overseas. It's a different style of game, that's for sure, but it's still basketball at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And there's a lot of people like Davide. It fits him better.
Well, yeah, he grew up playing it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Especially Davide. Yeah. Like those wider lanes and the FIBA rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hitting a bunch of threes.
All right, let's go back to Major League Baseball. It's Power Ranking Thursday. I want to power rank the Major League Baseball teams. I told you this last night, and you said the Rangers were number 1. I don't know if I'm quite there, but I do think I would slot them ahead of the Rays. You just swept them. You've won 6 in a row. You're one of the hottest teams in baseball, if not the hottest team, except for maybe the Braves. Would you say the Rangers have passed the Rays and the Orioles, or would you slot them all the way up at number 1? Are they still behind the Braves? Where are you putting your power rankings here?
I mean, if we're going off of what they've done since the All-Star break, the Rangers have to be above the Braves. The Braves have lost 4 straight. The Rangers have won 6 straight. Atlanta's taken on a little bit of water on I think they're on a road trip, a roadie here after the All-Star break, which good for the Rangers that they've been able to be at home. That's helped a ton. But getting back to that 4.5 game lead in the West has been huge over the Astros. Of course, the Astros are in Colorado. They took a couple from the Rockies in a short 2-game set. The Rockies are terrible.
There's one more team we haven't mentioned.
That's the Dodgers.
The Orioles.
Oh, yeah, the Orioles. I mean, the Orioles are they're tied for first place right now with the Rays. They're 2 less wins, but 3 less losses. So
They're 8-2 in their last 10.
Yeah, and they've played the Dodgers in their last 3. So one last night, they lost 2 or 3 to the Dodgers, but the Dodgers are also a first place team. So I was watching the game with my dad, eating dinner the other night, and I said, you know what? I guarantee you, if you would have told people that this would be 2 first place teams playing in this ball game tonight in Camden Yards, people would just laughed you out of a building. Like, take away everything you know about baseball. You can never watch baseball again because of what you just said. But it was true. 2 first place teams. And everybody would say, yeah, the Dodgers will be in first place. They're one of the best teams in baseball, or at least have one of the best rosters in baseball because they spend the most money in baseball.
Yeah.
But the Orioles, no one saw this coming.
No one.
I mean, some people might have seen the Rangers coming just because of the moves they've made, the money they've spent, especially with DeGrom. If you would have asked people before the season with DeGrom and Gray and Evaldi in the starting rotation, those 3 guys, pretty big names. Martin Perez after the year he just had. And it really hasn't been any of those guys other than Evaldi that have been really good. And John Gray's been a hard luck kind of loser in his matchups and his games starts. But other than that, it's been the Corey Seagers and the Simeons. And then the Rangers have gotten a very, very, very good rookie year from Josh Young. He struggled a little bit here lately, but the kid still is hitting 275 and makes almost every play at third base.
Yeah, and he had a walk-off and a double in the next game to have Josh Smith come in and score.
Yeah, and then you, like I say, and then you just have role players. And Leody Taveras has been better this year than I think most would have thought he was going to be too. And you've gotten better play out of Jankowski and the role players like that.
Jankowski's in 320.
Yeah, and he doesn't qualify yet because he doesn't have enough at bats or anything. But still, the guy is like,
he only hits singles, but
who cares? And then he turns into a double because he's so fast. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals. And then Adolis Garcia's having a great year. For things to go the right way, yeah, you got to have great players. And we've seen that in the past. But we've also seen where the Yankees buy great players and they don't even make the playoffs. I mean, look at their roster right now. How good does it look? Their starting rotation is absolutely horrendous. And
could be the best last place team ever this year.
Agreed. They're 9 games back of the Orioles and the Rays. 9 games back of the Orioles and the Rays. 2 of the lowest paid teams in all of baseball. And the Rays are the lowest paid team, well, other than the Oakland Athletics, and they're just phoning it in. They phoned it in. They're like, yeah, we're going to Vegas. Screw Oakland. Let's lose every game we can possibly do to get to Vegas quicker. Yeah, they would move to Vegas tomorrow if they possibly could. They just play in the AAA stadium. They get more fans there. Big Hen, what's up, my guy? They, but you know, that's all right. Probably spell correct. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those. It's hard to power rank teams, but I think right now, if we're going off of it, the Texas Rangers are the hottest team in baseball because they've won 6 straight. They're in first place of the AL West, which seems to be one of the more competitive divisions. I mean, the Angels aren't terrible. Seattle's not bad. They can beat people too. I mean, Seattle would be in second place right now in the AL Central. Of course, there'd be every team in the AL East would be leading the AL Central. So other than the Yankees, they'd be tied for first place with the Twins. They're 50-47. Good night. That's bad. To lead a division, you're going to make the playoffs. But yeah, it's just
we talked about this last time, but as they should.
Yeah, as they should.
In my opinion. If you win the division, you should be in the playoffs. So power ranking, would you go Orioles, Rangers, Braves?
No, I'd go Rangers, Braves, Orioles, Rays.
Dodgers?
Dodgers.
And the Dodgers and the Rangers play tonight?
Yes. Yeah, big series. Love this series. It's going to be a big one for the Rangers. If you can win, you've got to win series at home. I firmly believe that in the big leagues. You've got to be able to take series at home. 2 out of 3 would be phenomenal. If you sweep the Dodgers, then give me the Rangers to win the World Series. No, I'm just kidding. Not in July. But, it's one of those deals where if you can sweep this Dodgers club, because they're playing good baseball right now too.
Yeah.
I mean, they made the Orioles eat it the other night. Of course, the Orioles decided to throw it around the yard the other night and lost 10-1 or 11-1, something like that. But this Dodgers lineup, once they get going, they're going to be really dangerous. It all depends on what their starting pitching does late, and then once they get into the postseason. Obviously, they didn't have a great start to the year. The Diamondbacks had a great start to the year. But I don't think they're good enough to continue that start. Corbin Carroll's not that great.
The
He's
Giants
good.
are hot, 8-2 in their last 10. The Dodgers 8-2 in their last 10. And then, as we've talked about, the Rangers 7-3 in their last 10, but 6-0 here to finish off or start the second half, 58-39.
You know what my favorite record is?
What
is the San Diego Padres at 46-50, because that means that they'll deal somebody. Surely they will. If you go to them with an offer,
Hold on,
okay,
I've got an offer for you.
Okay,
it's still 4.5 up on the Astros.
yeah, I love that.
Snell, Hader, Soto. Would you buy that package?
I'd buy. What are we giving up? Is what I would ask.
A lot, but
you're probably giving up Owen White. You're probably giving up Jack Leiter too, Acuna.
Nah.
Probably a couple other. You're probably giving up 5 prospects, if not Mitch Garver in there too. I don't, or a Jankowski or something. Of course, Jankowski don't want to go back to San Diego, but
Soto's 24.
Yeah, 24, 25. He's not old.
3?
Yeah, he's not old
and controllable. Yes.
Yeah, no, not anymore. He's got his contract. What, did he just sign a 10-year deal or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to pick that? I mean, those are some big contracts you're talking about. What about Darvish?
Sure, Darvish instead of Snell. Bring him home, baby.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, Darvish is, in my mind, has been a little bit more consistent than Blake Snell. He's got better stuff, but Blake Snell does add another lefty into the rotation.
Would you
if
rather
Heaney can't get healthy?
Would you rather have that package or Ohtani?
Shohei Ohtani.
It probably costs the same.
No, I want Shohei Ohtani. There's no package in the world that you could tell me that you don't want Shohei Ohtani for. Give me Shohei Ohtani and get rid of Jack Leiter. Your top 10 prospects, send them. See ya. Shohei Ohtani, if he guarantees you that he will sign a 10-year deal after this year, or as soon as you sign him, if he guarantees that, Shohei Ohtani, number 1 pick, never another idea. Like, he's the best player we've ever seen.
If it's a trade and sign, I'm giving up everybody.
Hell yeah.
I would love to keep Evan Carter. If Adolis Garcia misses time, I think they're going to bring up Evan Carter.
Yeah, I think so too.
If you could do that and keep Evan Carter because he's, on the roster now, it would be a steal. I don't care who you're giving up.
Yeah, I don't care who it is. Give up the whole farm. I don't care.
Make
it to where we don't have a AA team anymore. Who cares? I want Shohei Ohtani.
If it's not a rental.
If it's not, there's no way you get Shohei Ohtani and give up all of that for Shohei Ohtani in half a year or less than half a year. If he's going to go right back and sign with somebody like the Angels or the Dodgers in the offseason, then no, thank you. See ya. We're not doing that. We're not looking to win a World Series that bad. We can do that with the guys we got. Ohtani ain't going to be in the World Series to beat us, so
no.
Have fun. Have fun losing him without getting anything back after this offseason.
But he likes pitching at Rangers Ballpark.
He loves pitching. He loves hitting there, too.
And he loves hitting there, too.
I think he loves pitching and hitting anywhere. Let's be honest. He's really
he does a lot of stuff. But
dude did 35 bombs, and he's one of the best starting pitchers in all of baseball.
Man.
Think about that rotation when DeGrom comes back. Shohei Ohtani, Jacob DeGrom. If you keep Evaldi for a couple of years and he can have another good couple of years, obviously it's late in the career for Evaldi. Martin Perez is kind of that same boat.
When you get Martin Perez an extra day of rest every week, because
that's nice.
If you do that, you have 6 starters.
Yeah, you go 6 starters if you want to.
Well, I think you have to.
And with Ohtani, it's great. It's a great idea.
That's all he's ever done.
Yeah, I love that idea, to be honest. And then, if you have to have him play left field and skip a start, he skips a start. But how about that? DH, trade out the DH from Mitch Garver to Shohei Ohtani.
Pretty good.
That's not bad.
Pretty good. And then
it's not a bad trade-off.
And then you're just playing Ezekiel Duran in left field, and Jankowski can be a part of the trade.
Yeah, not mad at that. Not mad at that. And even though love Jankowski's, I'd rather get rid of Josh Smith than Jankowski, but
put them both in there.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Garver.
They're just both really fast, so if you need somebody to get in there and run bases,
you can find somebody.
I'm sure you got guys in the minor leagues that can run fast that you're not giving up.
If everybody's hitting doubles 1 through 7.
Yeah, and then Ohtani's driving them in.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of
I've never been an Angels fan, just like I've never been a Yankees fan, but I always liked watching Derek Jeter play.
Yeah.
Same way. Shohei Ohtani, I mean, you can't not love to watch Shohei Ohtani play.
He's the best player.
He's the best player we'll ever see. He's a generational, once in a lifetime,
and what's crazy,
100 years kind of guy.
We thought that about Trout, and now on the same team.
Yeah, but Trout doesn't pitch.
Well, yeah, but we didn't know that was going to be a thing.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Trout. Like, this is the best hitter we'll ever see. He's so good. Now, he's fallen off quite a bit with injuries.
Yeah, I think injuries have hampered him, and obviously this season he's done with the broken wrist. It'll be interesting because he's a free agent too, yeah? Or he just signed another deal with the Angels.
That was a couple of years ago, though.
I'm trying to think what he did and where his contract is, but sooner or later, Mike Trout is going to end up playing for the New York Yankees. It's just going to happen because
when he's old and washed.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what happens to guy. And he's from that, isn't he from that area? From like Philly. He's from Philly. Oh, maybe he goes to Philly and plays. I don't know.
He is signed through 2030.
Oh, yeah. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon unless they trade him. But obviously, if you're Mike Trout too, like you're getting up there in your career where it's time to start thinking about getting on teams that have a chance to win a World Series. The Angels.
He had a shot.
Yeah, he did have a shot, but
and didn't take it.
The Angels aren't. They're at least 10 to 15 years away from winning a World Series. And I say another World Series because they won one back in the 90s.
10 to 15.
Yeah, I don't think they're anywhere close.
Well, the Rangers weren't either 5 years ago.
Yeah, but the Rangers have been close lately. The Angels have not even been sniffed the playoffs in the last few years. How many years? I mean, they might have gotten in the wild card one time because the Rangers weren't good. But
yeah, did they win the division once, or did the A's win it that year?
I think the A's won it that year because they beat the Rangers in like the second to last game of the year to win it in Oakland and then celebrated. Yeah, because it was a day game and Josh can't hit or field in a day game.
Missed a fly ball.
Yeah,
that Red Bull on those baby blues.
Yeah, the sunglasses just don't help, man. But yeah, I mean, the Angels are a really weird organization because they should win a lot more than they actually do. Like if you got Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, you should be winning ball games at a really good clip. Like that's two studs. And then you've had guys that are good ball players that you've had. I mean, Andrelton Simmons, when he came back from going and then he comes to the Angels and plays, he's a really good shortstop, made the All-Star team as a shortstop. You missed there. Those three guys were on the same roster together and still didn't make the playoffs. Like there's something going on in the front office, I think, in the Angels system that just isn't getting done. And it's one of those deals where if I'm the Angels, Shohei Ohtani is my best way to get better as a franchise in my farm system and everything, because if they're waiting around and they're not going to trade Shohei Ohtani, that is the biggest mistake they can possibly make unless they know they're going to sign him in the offseason. Like that's the only way if you're the Angels, you don't trade Shohei Ohtani before July 31st deadline. 5 p.m. on July 31st. You've got to trade Shohei Ohtani by then. Otherwise, the GM should be fired. Scouts should be fired.
Did you see the report today?
Fire everybody.
Did you see the report today?
No, I did not. Not yet.
they're going to wait for the final 48 to 24 hours to see if they're really out of it.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's going to come in before they're out of it.
Yeah. They're going to see if they're buyers or sellers within 24 hours of the trade deadline.
That's the dumb. Yeah, fire the GM right now. Just can him. Can your lead scout.
If you don't trade Shohei,
what an idiot.
I mean, that's one of the worst decisions you could have, because let's say you do re-sign him.
That's some John Daniels type dumb stuff right there.
Let's say you do re-sign him at the end of the year and he stays in Los Angeles because he doesn't care about winning. He just wants money. What did you do? You could have re-signed him anyways. You could have Aroldis Chapman'd him, traded him off for half a year, and then gotten him right back. Like, if you're that confident, you say, hey, Shohei, go play somewhere else, come back with all this talent, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the Angels being smart.
Yeah, make a deal, or you make a deal with like Texas, and the Rangers send you the prospects, and you say, okay, well, if Shohei decides to sign with us over the offseason, here's what we'll do. You sign him, and then we'll trade you back everything we sent you. You can have him for the remainder of this year. We'll just loan him to you, and you can loan us your farm league players. And if things work out for you guys in Shohei, great. We have a ton of farm league guys that will be great in our system. They'll make us better in the next few years. If that doesn't work out and Shohei wants to go back to LA, no harm, no foul. We just retrade.
Worst case scenario, that happens, and then Shohei's like, I want to go to the Yankees.
Yeah, and then the Rangers are screwed.
Yeah.
But that's, like I said, any team in Major League Baseball, the only way they're trading for Shohei Ohtani and giving up all of what they're going to have to give up for him is the assurance that he is going to sign with them for at least 5 to 6 years. At least 5 to 6 years.
And the going market rate has been 10.
Yeah, the going market rate's been 10, but I don't know that anybody has that kind of money except for the Yankees.
What do you pay the best hitter and the best pitcher in baseball? Because the best
$1 billion.
The best pitcher is 40, right? The best hitter is 40 a year. Are you paying him 80 a year for 10?
65, 70? Will he take a deal?
Golly. I mean, I'm serious. What do you do? What are you paying?
I mean, his contract's going to be the largest contract ever recorded in professional sports.
And it's not going to be, we talk about quarterbacks all the time. Well, the next contract's the biggest, but he'll be passed. No, this is such a unicorn deal. It's never going to be passed.
No, it'll never be passed. And there's no market, like, there is a market price
eventually, but
eventually, because by the time we'll be long dead before that thing's passed. Yeah, you and I won't be around anymore talking about contracts. That's for sure. Unless they find some way to keep us alive for 500 years. But that contract is I can't even fathom the big, number of what that's going to look like. And nobody's ever going to get to that close because nobody's Shohei Ohtani. Nobody. And I don't care if people from Florida think Caglione is going to be the next Shohei Ohtani. No, he ain't. No. Have you seen the guy pitch?
Just like Wyatt Langford's not the next Mike Trout.
No, he's definitely not. There's not going to be another Mike Trout either. Let's be honest.
All right. Any final thoughts here? The Rangers, I misspoke earlier. It's an off day today.
Yeah, they do have a series with the Dodgers though coming up. You're right.
Dodgers starting tomorrow.
So I knew what you meant there.
Awesome. We'll do the Rob Breaux show tomorrow and preview that Dodgers Rangers series.
Love that.
Maybe talk some college football too. Lots of college football going on.
It's getting close, man. We're less than what? How many days is it? Kyle put that 42 days now
till the Big 12 kickoff. 44.
Right. Yeah. 44 for Tech, 42 till college football Big 12 kickoff.
Yeah.
Then we can probably talk about what the Big 12 did in Rucker Park yesterday.
Cool. Let's do that. Let's do that tomorrow. Yeah. You have any final thoughts on power rankings?
The Air Raiders, maybe we can get one more year of eligibility for one of these guys.
That'd be sick.
Zach Smith or Tariq. I
And
think you sold me.
they could still do it.
Yeah, they can still do it.
Still do it.
They're probably better now than they were when they suited up for Tech, and they were really good then.
Okay, here's one more question on the starting line chat line. We'll end with this one. Which alum would you want to add to the Air Raiders team in no particular order? Norrent, Zaire, Jarrett, Adonis, Mac McClung. Two obvious options. Jarrett Culver is the best player you've ever had, up there at least, or Mac McClung. Now, you said Adonis earlier. Would Adonis be your first choice, or would you go Jarrett or Mac McClung?
No, I'd probably go Jarrett over Adonis, but then Adonis before Mac. Mac, I love the tenacity that he plays with, but Adonis is just kind of a cool, calm, collected dude.
Yeah.
Like, I love the way that guy played basketball, and he locks down on the defensive side. He can hit a big shot when you need it. He's going to play his role, and he's going to play his role really well. And he's not going to try and be the star, but in his own right, he is a star player just because of what he does the right way. That's why I like Adonis Arms. That, and he's a fan favorite, which I think would get butts and seats.
And Norrence,
all about butts and seats.
Norrence
too, but Norrence is a guy who I would rather see like in a coaching role on this team. I don't think Norrence is interested in playing in it either. He's trying to stay healthy for the things that he does elsewhere.
He's still playing in the G League.
Yeah.
Texas.
And then another guy I would put on that list is Keenan Evans.
Yeah, is he still hurt?
Yeah, he's probably still hurt.
Coming back from an Achilles injury.
Yeah, that's rough to come back from too. That's hard. And then Brandon Francis is another guy to add to the list.
Yeah,
just because of his shooting ability, dude can shoot the rock.
Yes, he can, and he plays hard defense too.
Yeah, in big moments.
But I still think Jarrett Culver's.
Jarrett Culver's number one. Yeah, and he's a Lubbock guy. I mean, you can't.
Oh yeah,
JC is the guy. Yeah, he's the guy.
All right, that's it for us today. We'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon. Check us out. This was the Rob Rocha with Carson Robinson. We'll see you then.
Peace.